Hello everyone, and welcome to another painting with J. Robinson Art. We're going to be doing a peel-off, so this is a peel-off project. And today we're going to be painting a very easy and very lovely bird standing. This is basically what the painting is going to look like when it's completed, but I like to always preface it with this. With a peel-off project, we give you the basics. We show you here in these videos an idea of how you can paint them. You're not limited to that, by no means necessary. Any peel-off project can be taken to any extreme you'd like to take it. I'm just here to show you in this video a step-by-step procedure that anyone can follow, no matter your painting skill level. And that's what this is all about. But I encourage you to experiment, and I encourage you to dig deep inside yourself and find your own way of expressing yourself using peel-off as a guide. So with that being said, let's just introduce some of our materials for today. I prepared for you an 8x10 canvas with the peel on it. It's been painted black and then painted white, and of course all of that will be revealed as to why as we continue with the project. I've given you a plastic apron. I like to provide you with at least one paper towel that I like to keep folded. I recommend you get more in case you need it. I provide you with a flat brush and a pointed brush, but you could always bring your own brushes depending on your skills, experience, comfort level, and I highly recommend that you use materials that are more comfortable for you. We just like to keep our kits affordable, and we like to provide you with everything you need to paint a project. I've given you a plastic spatula. This will be used to remove the peel off, but it could also be used to paint with if you want, as well as to mix paint. Here we have a palette sheet. It's a glossy side and a matted side. Make sure you put it on the glossy side. I like to tape mine down so it doesn't move. And I also like to put two-sided tape on the back of my canvas so it doesn't move. And I also like to put my canvas on a surface I don't mind getting paint on. Off camera, you have a cup of water. I'll let you know when to use that. Now, to open the paint package, you simply grab here, pull, and there you have the packet open. You could dump out all the ingredients. We'll go through the colors, and then we're going to begin our painting. Let's move this here. I provided you with orange. I've also given you two yellows. Primary yellow and a chrome yellow. You could even use raw sienna or yellow ochre. I've also given you white and black. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to be putting these out. We'll start with the yellow. Here's the chrome yellow. You just grab the packet, again, pop it open. We don't need to put out all of the paint that we have. So I'm just going to squeeze just a little bit to work with, and if I need more, we'll always go back and get it. That's more than enough. Here is the primary yellow. Just going to put that right underneath. We want a very bright, warm painting today. It can be a sunrise, a sunset, early morning, close to dusk. We're going to put some orange out. See? Now we're going to add a little black. Right here, just going to pinch a little bit of that out. And we have a little white. Now, if you see me extending off to the side, it's because I leave my packets right near me just in case I need to squeeze more. We like to give you a lot of color with each project. You'll never use as much as we give you, but then you could always go back, enhance your painting, or use the paint to paint something on your own. So let's get started. We're going to be using the flat brush primarily. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up some of this chrome yellow. And right along the top of the canvas, we're just going to splash in some of that color. Let me just move the apron because I actually have one on already. No particular stroke here, I'm just going left and right. And then right underneath that, I'm going to take some of the primary yellow. They don't show too much of a variation, but it will help give the picture a little bit more values. Then I like to pick up a tiny, tiny bit of orange at this point. Just kind of intermingle that along with the yellow. See? Just to start warming up our sky. And if you notice, I'm blending back so that the colors blend into one another. I want this to be kind of light up in this top part of the painting, but then as we gradually get lower, I'm going to start increasing the tone value. Okay, I'm even going to take a little white and a little orange. I'm just going to kind of mix that in here. See, just again, I'm just trying to add values, variations, values. It all works for me. Go with a little bit more white, a little bit more orange. Tap that right up in here. Okay. Now before we go too far down, I'm going to pick up some straight orange and start splashing some of that in here. Now if you notice, you'll see that there is a lot of values here, and that's what I kind of want in my sky. I want my sky not to be a solid color. I want it to have like a variation of values, shades, tones. So I'm just going to add until I feel comfortable that I have what I'm looking for. And this is looking pretty good. There you go. I'm just blending this back a little bit. Now I'm going to come in a little stronger here. And when I say stronger, I'm just going for a bolder set of orange closer towards where my mountains are going to start to appear. Now I'm going to show you a trick. Most people at this point would start putting in their mountains. Me, I'll wait till later. I want to keep coming with this value so that I could bring it all the way down to the water, which is my sky here. There'll be a range of mountains here with a nice burst of sun. But down in here is where the water is going to begin. So watch what I do. Just watch what I'm going to do. Now, you don't have to paint this way, but this is how I would do it. I'm going to take the orange a little further than it'll actually show. And then right about here, I'm going to use this area to say this is where my mountains are going to be. So let me clean off my brush. Tap it in the water. I like to call that ringing the bell. Wipe it on a paper towel, keeping the brush flat. Now I'm going to go into some of this primary yellow again. I'm going to reintroduce that right along here, because here, for me, is about where my horizon line is going to be for my water, the furthest distance. So I'm going to work it just a little bit like so. Kind of leave the middle open a little bit here, because I'm going to put some white. Now I'm just going to come in with a variation of shades. A little orange, a little chrome yellow, and I'm just going to kind of dance them in along the sides as I continue to work my way forward. So here's some chrome yellow now. See, the chrome yellow is a little bit darker than the primary yellow, which is good. This is what I want, because remember, we talked about this. The values is what I'm after right now. Go with some orange, streak some of that in here. And of course, paint right over your peel-off. It's not a problem. That's what it's there for, to help you to block out areas that you would otherwise have to spend a lot of time painting around. So here you just get to splash some color and have some fun. Let's go back to the primary yellow. Maybe put some on this side. Don't worry, we're going to be going back over some of these colors in a moment. I just want to show you how I would lay in the blocking of my painting. Now, because my moon or sun, I'm going to call it a moon, will be here, and white reflection will be here, it'll end somewhere about here. So now I can just start going straight across. It's a judgment call. Just mixing colors right now. I'm not even caring which ones I pick up, because I'm going to go back over all of this one more time. Some of it will show, some of it will get covered, but that's the art of painting. You let the accidents happen. You let things that you don't necessarily plan to occur. It makes your painting look natural, and it gives you a better sense of freedom. You don't have to be restricted to trying to mimic exactly what I do. It's the idea I'm teaching you. You can expand on that. You might see something much better than I do. Softening up some of this thick painted stuff, just so it'll dry faster. And we're using acrylic-based, water-based paint, so it does dry rather quickly. Now let's just come right here. I'm just going to take this all the way down, despite the fact that this is going to be a black mound. I'm going to take this all the way down. But sometimes you just don't know what's going to pop back through, so just let it go. Now I'm just going to grab some white, because I know that my moon is going to be here. So I'm just going to come, I'm just going to streak in some white like so, just so I could have that natural white color and some of that blended color. Just like that. I'm just going to tap that in like that. And remember, we will be going back over this, so some of this might disappear. All right. So now we pretty much got a nice setup going. Just going to take this, like I told you, all the way down to the bottom. And there, we pretty much blocked in what we're going to call our painting. Now we're going to like enhance some of the areas. So I'm going to clean off my brush, tap it in the water, ring the bell, show you how I wipe my brush off. I just go on the flat side of it just to keep the shape. So now let's look at what we have. We have our sky. We have our horizon line where our range of mountains are actually going to sit. Make it come a little bit over. It doesn't really matter. We have our reflections from our moon, and we have our water. So let's enrich this area. So we're just going to go back into the primary yellow. See how it stands up a little bit more now that it's hitting its own dry paint. We're going to come and grab some chrome yellow. See, starting to really build value. Going to grab a little bit of orange. Maybe a little bit of orange and white. Just to give that look. Heck, I might even come back in here and dance in a few pieces of cloud. Go right into the orange and just richen this up. Now, down in this area here, I really want it to be strong orange, because this is going to be behind the mountains and we're going to have a moon here. So I'm just going to dance this here. Like make this really strong. You see how strong that's looking? Because I've allowed the canvas the paint to set up enough that I can go right over the top of it, which is a beauty of painting in acrylics. It's like watercolors. You can build and build and build and build. Now down here, I'm going to just streak again. I'm going to go right into some primary yellow. Just going to lay some paint. Just going to lay it. Now I'm not going to brush too much now. I want it to sit up, and I want it to have like the strokes so you can see the water movement. So I'm just going to do like so. Grab some orange, streak some of that in here, some of that in here. See? And this is how you set your painting up for what'll come later for details. But right now we just want to kind of get a flow of warmth. See that warmth? Nice warm painting. Streak some of this in here. This is looking really good. At this point, I'm going to stop with this. This is fine. Maybe I'll eliminate just a little bit of this white. And if I need to, I'll come back and add some later. But right now, this is a stopping point. Take my brush, dip it in the water, ring the bell. Now I'm going to show you how to make some very easy mountains. But before we make the mountains, let's make our moon, because it's kind of like almost a half moon. You put a little white on the brush. You lay the brush down where you want it to be, let's say here, and you just kind of turn it to be like a quarter or 50-cent piece. Let it just go like that. That's fine. And then you go over here and you say, Here's the other half. And remember our horizon line, so we're going to stop there, pick up a little paint, and we're just going to fill it in. We're going to fill in that little 3/4 shape. And here's where you get to take your time and just turn the brush slightly to get it as rounded as you can. And this is fine. And the rest of this is going to be hidden behind the mountains. And we want some of that color to mix in. We could always come back later. So you see what I did? I just placed it, made half an arc here, made the other half, filled it, left the bottom flat because the range will cover this bottom portion. Clean off my brush, ring the bell, and wipe it on the paper towel. Now we're going to pick up some straight black. Now watch how easy this is. Remember this part that we left flat? So let's just take the brush and just draw a line from here and to here. Because if nothing else, we've established where the bottom of our mountain is. Now to make the mountains, you just do some like little diagonals, like you're doing a stock market chart. You go up, you go down, you come here and you say, okay, it withers off here. And then just fill that in. There's mountain range number 1. You could go in and darken it. You could reshape it. You could add more little humps to it, whatever you decide. But I'm going to just show you how to quickly get in, do a little mountain seam, see? And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make a little bit of a bump just inside, just because I want it to be uneven right there. See, because it pushes that moon all the way back. So here, you can leave that, but I'm going to add some ranges to the other side. So I'm just going to come here and show you on this side. Just going to go up, down, a little bit up, down, and that's it. And this part I'm just going to fill in. And there's our mountain range all the way in the back. We don't know what's going on back there. We'd have to take a boat, literally, to get there, or a helicopter to get this far. This is way back there. These mountains are so much bigger the closer we get to them. But there you have it. You have your moon, you have your mountain range, you have your sky, you have your ocean or your water. Clean off our brush. Okay, now I want to put a little white in the sky. So I'm going to take the brush, and I wanted this to dry just a little bit. I'm just going to take a little bit of white, and right along the edge here, I'm just going to streak in some little shapes of white, just like this. This is going to act as some floating clouds way in the distance. I'm just going to let that blend down, come over here, do the same thing just to balance it out. Doesn't have to be the exact same shape, but I want a little bit on this side, a little bit on this side, just to balance it out. Now, if you watch, I'm just going to blend this color right back into what's already there, so that you don't really know where one color stops and the next color begins. You can streak a little bit here. You can streak a little bit here. This just adds a little flavor to the sky. See? That's all. That's all I'm going to do. Now, let's come back down here for a second. Grab some of this yellows, and I just want to kind of shape this reflection a bit. And once I add the color, if I feel that I need more white, which I will show you, I'm just going to clean off my brush, ring the bell, wipe it. I'm going to grab some of this white, and we're just going to streak it in. We're just going to go whip, whip, like that. See, I'm letting it sit up. Whip, whip, like that. A little bit more. Paint right over the bird's head. And this will be the much stronger reflections. At this point, you could even add some white and very carefully go back into your moon and make it even a little bit brighter. Just going into the top part of the shape, like so. And then very carefully come right to the mountain's edge, but not in it. And there, that brightens it up just a smidgen. See that? Clean off my brush. Now I'm going to show you how to make the mound before we do the peel. Here's the bird's feet. So we know that that's where he's standing. He could be standing on flat ground, a little bit of a hump. So I'm just going to make it a little bit of a hump. So there's where my bird is standing. Now let's make the other part of this mound where all of these weeds are coming from. So I'm just going to stretch that over. Here I'm going to take a dip. I don't really want that to be really high there. I want you to be able to look at the bird and look past. So I'm going to take this part lower and come up here. But again, you make the shape that's comfortable for you. And once you get that line work in, once you get this line work in, the rest is just you taking the paint and filling in the bottom. Just blocking it right in, left, right, up, down, whatever kind of stroke you want at this point. Because I just want to fill this up. Then I'm going to show you how to pull in some weeds. And then we're going to take off our peel and see what else we need to do, desire to do, or nothing needs to be done. It depends on us. It's our painting. We get to be creative. So here I'm just going to quickly block this area in like so. There you go. Now this is blocked in. Just going to keep getting in all of the color, all of the divots that's down here that's open. And I don't mind a little bit of spacey showing through because it kind of looks like different grains on the land itself. So it doesn't have to be solid as a rock, even though it might look like it. And there. Now we have our distant mountain, our moon, reflections, our water, and we have our mound. Now from here, you can make different levels of weeds and grass a lot of different ways. So I'm going to show you quite a few. I'm going to take the flat brush, see, like this. I'm going to lay it straight up and down and just pull and just turn a little bit. See that? Now those are going to be like just little weeds of grass that's growing on the mound. We're going to come back and add some stuff later. This area and right around the bird, I'm going to leave it alone. Just going to focus right around in this area. So I'm just going to take the brush and just whip it like that. You can go as high as you want, as low as you want, but this just gives you some idea of how you could take this brush and create some grassy things with it. I'm going to clean this off, ring the bell, and put this brush to the side. We might even be totally finished with this brush, but we'll see. Now let's pick up this pointed brush. This is the one I provided you. It's kind of stiff, so I like to dip it in the water, not hit the bottom, roll it around on a paper towel till it springs open, but I still want to keep that shape. So I take it and I twist it like this, just to make sure it comes back to some kind of a point. I dip into water just to give some liquid to it. I go into a corner here and I twirl the brush in the black paint till it becomes the consistency of ink. I take and I'm going to feather up. So I'm just going to take and show you how you could take this. See how much finer those lines are? And now the ones that we put down earlier, they just become backdrop. See? See, just take the brush. Now, a lot of ladies who use this for mascara for their eyes, this is what you're doing. It's the same basic stroke. Fellas, just pretend you're just lightly feathering up. Like that, see? And this is how you create the look of 1,000 pieces of grass in just no time. Now let's make some taller ones. So I'm just going to do the same stroke, but except I'm going to go a little higher and a little straighter. So I'm just going to take the brush, drag it, and let that stick up. Doesn't matter if it's fat, skinny, that's good. Take another one, drag it. Take another one, drag it. Now, I've been very neat here, just doing them so you can see them. But the best way to do these is to cross over so that it looks like the wind has taken some of them and pushed them in front of one another. It looks more realistic. So here, I'm going to show you on this side. Just drag it. Get that ink consistency. If it's getting dry, just dip into a tiny bit of water. Go into the corner of the paint. twirl it and just drag it and drag it. And make sure you go over. That overlap really makes the painting look much, much more realistic, because nature is not neat. It's beautiful, but it's not neat. You've seen grass growing out of cement in New York City, at least, or in some cities. There you go. Just in case you're not from New York City or any parts thereof. Now, these aren't finished. I'm just giving you an idea. See? Now, this is given some focal point to the front, which helps push the back. But I want to go even further. So I'm going to just grab a couple of these twigs. Now watch this stroke. It's like dots. I'm going to dot here, 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 and here. You see that? Like cattails. If you've ever gone to the beach or near the shore, there are tons of cattails. We're not going to paint tons. A dot here, 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 here. You can stop anytime you want, but this just gives the painting a nice little look. Like you've spent days and days working on this painting. See? More cattails. The cattails are simple. All you need is the length and the dots. So even if you just went dot, 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 you're still going to get a cattail. And you don't have to do every single one. You can leave some just plain. Pretend the wind blew them off. But we just want to make sure we balance this and put some on both sides. So I'm just going to very quickly tap in a few on this side. See? Tap in a few more on this side. Then I'm going to show you another neat trick before we peel. That's good enough for me. If you want, you could always go back in. You could add more blades. You know, you could fill it up to the corner. Have some going off the canvas. You know, you could just spend hours and hours doing this. And I recommend you try to do as many as you can comfortably do. You know, because it'll give you good practice. Because no matter what you paint in life, if you ever paint any scenes where there's a shore, where there's a beach, where there's a water, where there's trees, you're going to need this stroke. So the more you perfect it now, the better it'll be for you later when you're doing other projects that require the same thing. Now I'm going to show you how to make a few birds. Again, go with that inconsistency liquid paint. I'm going to rest my pinky here. And I'm just going to take the brush, start a wing, push down, lift up, and go over. There's one bird flying in the distance. Try to go over here, trying to so you can see. Come here, take and make a wing, push down, lift up, go over. See? Bird number 2. Make a nice little one here, just go here, push down, pull up. And that's about all the birds I want to put in, because again, I'm just trying to give you an idea. You can even take this brush, clean it off, make sure there's no black on it, go into the white, and go right back into your moon shape if you want, and add even more value to it so that it's even brighter and stronger. Because it's dried now, so you can lay into this as often as you want it to dry. You can go back over it that many times. So, and please excuse the noise, but the gardeners are out there doing their thing, and I ain't mad at them. We're almost done anyway, so just put up with that and just keep listening to me, because we're almost finished. There. Now we're going to peel off our bird. Clean off my equipment, roll my brush, put it to the side. Now when I use the spatula, I like to grip it right about there, because I want to use that end or this end or this end or even this end. And all you want to do is find any spot that you can take and dig up just a little. See, like that. Once you get that little bit, you can just peel at a 90-degree angle, peel up the peel off. We have left a small little piece right here, so we're just going to go back and get that. And there's our bird. See? our painting is done. You have your bird standing, weeds, mounds, water, reflections, moon, range in the back, birds, clouds, sky. This is an awesome painting. If you should find that these bother you, little white dots or whatever that are inside, you could just take your brush and work those edges like so. And just make sure you stay in the inside. Now, what do I mean by that? If you're going to be painting to get those details out, keep your brush on the black. Don't approach from out here on this side of the bird. Go the other way. Go inside like this. So if the brush touches anything, it's where the black is. See? It's just a little trick. And that's how you detail and clean up and keep it moving. All right, everyone. As always, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to come in and paint with you, push around a few colors and have some fun. This is Bird Standing, another peel-off project brought to you by J. Robinson Art. And I hope you had a good time. And if you like this video, please give us a like and subscribe so that you can see the next up-and-coming project as soon as we put them out there. So until next time, have fun, be creative, and push around a few colors. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.